It's 12 o'clock. Welcome to Taking Stock. It's the 23rd of November, 2023. It's a Thursday. I'm on my own again. And at this rate, I think we'll see Father Christmas before we see John. I don't know where he is. So what's your thoughts on, first of all, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. If you could like this, that'd be much appreciated. Subscribe. Go that step further, subscribe. And go one more step further and comment. First comment on autumn statement yesterday. What's your thoughts? Any good? Just give me your thoughts on that autumn statement. And also bargain shares. What shares are you looking at right now? Or do you hold that you think they're a bargain? I don't understand why they're so cheap. I want to look at that. I got 5 companies. I've done a screener on some companies, okay? And they've got a PE below 10. They are cash flow positive. They pay a dividend. And I'm going to show you 5 of those shares now. Super Mono, Jezza let us down. No Great British ISA. There wasn't a British ISA. There was the pension thing there, wasn't it? Going into stocks. Do you know what I don't understand, right? They talk about at the moment the greatest evil around. The biggest evil we have to, the biggest battle we have to fight at the moment is inflation. Okay, it's not inflation all the time. We've got to get inflation down. It's more than double the target at the moment. We've got to get it down. When we can do that, we can start doing things with the economy. And then they up the national living wage. Now, of course, a lot of people need that national living wage, but there shouldn't be pressure on small businesses, because what that will do, I was listening to, in fact, Radio 5 Live this morning, that a lady from Wales who was a hairdresser, and she said, that's going to cost me extra £35,000 a year to raise. I'd love to do that. I can't afford it, but we're going to have to do it. Now, what will happen is we'll just up our prices. Now, one of the biggest problems with inflation is wage growth, and that becoming embedded, and then people raising their prices again. Surely that's not going to help inflation. They want to bring inflation down. They shouldn't have done that, should they? Just a bit odd to me that, I thought. Okay, Mr. Steve, National Grid, ex-Divvy. Ben says, autumn statement was pointless. We need radical long-term ideas. I agree with you, Ben. That just seemed to me to be trying to grab a few votes. They should just realise you're not going to win the general election, guys. But how about making Britain a better place to live? To improve productivity, prosperity for everyone. Longer term, 10, 20-year goals, that kind of thing. Okay, let's have a check of the indices first before we get away. Let's see how excited the indices are by Jeremy's autumn statement. Oh, they're all down. There we are. There you go. FTSE 100 down 0.23%. FTSE 250 down 0.60%. That's more telling. Of course, it's domestic businesses there. AIM all share fares the least worst, actually, down 0.12%. And, of course, it hasn't really moved yet. We're still down, 40-odd% from the highs there. That's the AIM all share there. So you say National Grid. Let's have a look at a National Grid chart, shall we? There's quite a few results today. And in fact, I tell you a good barometer of results. Of course, the housing industry is a good barometer. But National Grid, here we are. But also car sales and Motorpoint were out today. And we'll have a look at the interim results for those. It's not very pleasant reading. But you could say, are they at a bottom here? Because it didn't really fall off a cliff, the results. In fact, that's National Grid. It's a bit messy, that, isn't it? Up and down, but a bit of a messy chart, but let's scroll out. Wow. Yes. I would say it's a range, maybe. If you can buy at the bottom of the range, maybe you're going to do well there. What's the dividend in National Grid? I'll show you Motorpoint. In fact, National Grid's looking a lot better than Motorpoint. I think the biggest car dealer in the UK, aren't they, I think? Is that what they say? In fact, let's go to Motor. Do they say that? Interim results. The UK's leading independent omni-channel vehicle retailer today announces unaudited results up till 30th of September. Revenue down 22%. That's the state of the consumer for big ticket items. And like I said now, most people, I assume, get their cars on finance, and finance is very expensive. You're talking like 10% for a used car. So you can see they make the operating profit before exceptionals. So they did make a loss, from 3 million last year to 3.7 million loss this year. But nevertheless, net cash of 11.2 million. Their market cap is 66 million. I'll look at that on the spreadsheet in a bit. Before we do that, just go to the front page of Vox, see what's happening here. Cambridge nutritional scientists improved operational efficiencies, bump up revenue by 44%. Now, this was Omega Diagnostics, if you remember. Obviously, one of the big hope by potential stocks of COVID that was hoping to jump on the back of Novacyt's success. And in fact, Novacyt got some news out today, actually. But if you look at this, so they're 5.223 million market cap. I don't think these results are too bad, actually. I think they're looking okay. I mean, when you look at small caps, nano caps, this is a nano cap essentially, revenue increased to 4.9 million. So they almost one-time sales. They are making a loss before tax of 700 grand. So they're not burning a lot of money, but they've got 4.4 million of cash. In my mind, that isn't too bad. What's the old ticker there? ODX, but Cambridge Nutritional. Nutritional Sciences. Okay, you haven't already got a chart there on that because they've changed since ODX. But yeah, I'm saying the top line is going in the right direction, and they are still loss making, but small cap company, decent amount of cash, Like I said, if they're going to continue to burn less than a million in cash, what were we looking at? Is this half year? Let's say they burn, $1.5 million a year. Then they've got quite a few years runway there. So, interesting company there, interesting. Intelligent Ultrasound, this is very good. I do hold a few of this stock today. They've announced software AI simulation, and some articles written on there, but launch of ScanNav, fetal check, and it's in study use. Now, this is very good because it's AI. Now, there's certain checks you have to do for gestational age. And with this AI, this is the way things are going now. Of course, with AI is the professional. So as long as you can use the kit, the AI can enable a non-skilled, I assume someone who's had a little bit of training, but is not qualified, not just someone you grab in from the street to say, have a crack at this fella, because that would really revolutionize. But that means the market has just become a whole lot bigger when you can use AI technology and someone who's non-skilled can use it. So that's, let's say pregnant women are usually offered 2 routine ultrasound scans, the first in the 11-14 weeks performed to confirm viability of the fetus, as well as gestational age to pinpoint the likely due date. Second scan at 18-20 weeks. Now this, with the AI software, can be done by anyone. I assume with half a brain, because the brain is AI. It's artificial intelligence. You don't need real intelligence. That's what they're saying, aren't they? The artificial intelligence is replacing the real intelligence or the trained intelligent person. Doesn't need training anymore. So I think that's quite a good bit of news there from intelligence. What else is there we got here? Let's scroll down. Let's see what the most read are. Wildcat. Did you see this? This guy, the guy in charge of this, keeps spamming me on LinkedIn. Read this interview. Read this. I just said I'm not interested, thank you. But yesterday we did this interview where he alluded to the blockchain happening, and he told the FCA you shouldn't, and they've had to apologise and retract it. To me, that's a red flag. Jersey Oil and Gas, the most followed company is there, and there's a deal between, in fact, I'll come to that. Jersey Oil and Gas, there's a deal. Where is it? A farm out to Serica Energy. So they've agreed, focus on agreed a 30% interest on the Greater Bacan area licensed to Serica Energy. Upon completion, the Serica farm out JOG will have 20% interest in GBA licenses and a full carry on the capital expenditure. So there we are. 18 million milestone payments of 38 million cash payments attributable. There we are. What do you know about this area? Anyway, so that's bit good news. I think the oil and gas players there. Supply me capital, in my mind, I do apologize, waste of time, that company. Whenever people release a transfer of warrants and people are reading that, it's literally pointless. There's Serica acquisition. Oil and gas, UOG, not very good here news really, because first of all, Simon Brett has been appointed CFO. That's not a bad thing. But the Jamaican update, they said the counterparty that had been identified as a preferred potential partner in this area said they no longer wish to pursue further discussions in relation to participation in the Walton Morant license. So they pulled out. A big sort of high impact sort of drill potential there, but they think it's pulled out. We just covered Cambridge Nutrition, Jet2 results. In fact, let's look at a couple of charts here. UOG, yeah, massive downtrend. JOG, let's look at JOG here. Jersey Oil and Gas. It's a bit messy, but it's above that 200-day moving average, and now you can see above a previous high, which may prove to be good. It's got some incoming cash. That's good. What about Serica SQZ? Serica Energy. Oh, it's come off. Oh, look, it's trying. See, it's come down below that. It spiked up back in August 2022, 451. It's come down to £2 a share. But now you can see maybe that's a low. It's a higher low, but it's trying to get above that. Once that flattens out a bit, that 200-day moving average, maybe that's the end. Seems like the end of a downtrend there. So good news there. What else there? Jet2, I don't know if you've looked at this, but not bad set of results, but they are down a smidge. What's the chart looking like? Maybe it rose towards results, did it? I don't know. Jet2. I did sort of rise towards the results. Look at that. So it went from £10 to 11.80. It's come off a bit. You often get that liquidity events of interim results, but judging by that, revenue up 24%, operating profit up 20%, profit before tax up 47%. So it does seem decent there. Obviously, I have no idea about the net debt or cash they have there, but that's good. Cleantech just announced that 8 million raised there. Lithium. Probably 3.1 million raise, firm placing. I wonder if that's firming up there. CTL chart. So I know I had a bit of sell off towards that. Sometimes you get a placing, can stop that because, of course, some people tend to worry about the funding. Then funding comes in and it starts to rally on the potential. And in fact, saying that, I did have a comment yesterday. Sorry, I haven't got through the comments. I'll get through the comments here. By the way, politicians with long-term planning, get a grip. They need long-term planning. Yes, absolutely. That's it. Santa incoming. No, but hang on. The Santa rally is actually the last trading week of the year. So but these seasons, November, December, generally a lot better than September, October. September, October, generally hard months. Dagger 88 Energy and Boyle. I'm watching very closely. What are you waiting for? What are you looking for there? Let me know, Dagger. Mr. Steve, we have had a great market recovery recently. US closed so quiet today. It's Thanksgiving, isn't it? Yet? Is that what is Thanksgiving? What date are we in America? Don't panic. Something's still pretty positive. No, I believe that. I believe. Listen, the economy will get worse, but that will hopefully bring down inflation. And then the more bad news is good news. The worse the economy gets, the more likely central banks are to bring down interest rates, faster. I do think at one point when the economy starts crashing, they'll really drop them quickly, and the markets will go berserk. And I think that'll happen in 2024. Mr. Steve, half a brain. Plenty of MPs could do that when they get turfed out next year. Exactly. That's intelligent ultrasounds. New AI tech where you have non-skilled people doing gestational scans or age scans. That's very impressive. And that's the power of AI, isn't it? That's the way it's going to go. There'll be things now that the AI does for you, and all you have to do is confirm, yeah, that looks okay. And maybe it'll double check your work for you as well. That's what we need. In fact, it's a thankless task, isn't it? Marking exam papers and all that stuff. But I'm sure there's certain exam papers that AI could mark. Then you get an AI to check the AI. Supermono, after 10% hike in tobacco duty, I offered a load of Imperial tobacco. They've done me proud over the years, and unlike Jezza, invested a couple of potential long-term winners. Good and SBDS. Yeah, I mean, in fact, Silver Bullet's rallying quite strongly today. But it was anyway. It's come back a little bit, but at 110, Good Energy is having a little bit of a pullback, but that's fine. That happens. It's risen very quickly. That's the way shares happen. You can't just sell off on little dips because people will take profit. In fact, a lot of people just buy too high, and then it does a dip, and they panic, and they're chasing a hot stock. That's not the way to invest. Okay, it's buy low, sell high, not buy high, sell low. That's so anyway. So I had a couple of comments. Right, M Knight said, "Polarean looks like a bargain, and a few things brewing. Look at the Telegram. I will never look at Telegram groups. It doesn't help. All they are is echo chambers of positivity, hope pipe potential. It's always good. A hope pipe potential stock. When I talk about that, I talk pre-revenue stocks with very good tech, with large end markets, with lots of potential, and then the hope pipe builds around that. But what's more important than narrative is numbers, always, and numbers will usurp the narrative. Now, if there's a worry about financing, and I think they said they're a runway to Q2, but the cash burn is quite high next year, then that will usurp that will override the narrative. So until they get funding sorted, and I don't care what's being said in the Telegram group, like I said, they are echo chambers, and largely they don't keep you, on a level playing field. You're not objective. I said before, once you're investing in a stock, you're not objective. You have money invested. So you are straight away, as soon as you press buy now, you are biased. And it's very hard to be objective. And in fact, I said last on the webinar, the only thing that separates a good investor from a poor investor is discipline. It's not hard to learn about financial reports or charts, but having mental discipline is the hardest thing of all to conquer. And so, even if you love the story and you realize an impending funding round happening, you've got to just wait. You must wait. And then once that's done, then the story, the narrative takes over. But right now, it's all about the numbers. And so it may be a bargain, but, if they're going to do a fundraise, I don't know of many companies that have done a premium fundraise in this market. There's one, which I made a big mistake on. I talked about last night, actually, on a webinar. And that's this company. I got out and I made a mistake by limiting my upside. And that was, let me just close this. I'll show you the company. So I got into Kooth, very good company, mental health app for young people, big contracts. And I was literally, I think, I got in around here, I think, when it broke 200 moving average. I was watching it for a while and it just shot up, right? And then I knew then they landed the contract in California, big contract. And I thought they're going to need to raise money because they're going to need to, they're going to need to employ people. And so I just got out. I took a bit of profit and got out. And then they did a fundraise at a premium, 10 million, £3. That shows you the quality of the company and the backers. But it's very rare that happens, raising that kind of money at a premium. And I think where the share price was, 260, and they raised 10 million at £3. So I was wrong there. I limited my upside, whereas now it's still been sitting on a nice profit. It's drifted a while. But, but apart from that, name the companies that has raised a significant amount of cash at a premium. So it's odds on that any company raising money will do it at a discount. How big that discount is, don't know. But of course, as the share price goes down, the ability to raise more money becomes a lot harder as the valuation of the company goes down. So try to, not believe everything that's said in Telegram groups. So they are, you are largely all holders, all biased, all subjective. And sometimes that can't play out, that may not play out well. Now, I'm not saying, Polarean is a great company, they're excellent tech, fabulous technology. So they shouldn't have a problem raising money. But like I said, that, for loss-making companies, that's the biggest worry of all, having enough cash to survive. So be careful you're not too bullish just based on Telegram chat. Unless the CEO is in the Telegram group. Is he? What else someone say? MacBen, take a stock is just warming up. Don't give up now, JW. Oh, I should say, unless you get, that's what the boss said. 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Otherwise, that's it. So if you could help subscribe, if you want to keep this on. Okay, so 5 bargain stocks, okay? I'll share the screen with you. Let me just scroll up a little bit here. But share screen. So it's a screener I've run. Okay. Companies with a PE below 10, operating margin above 20, paying a dividend. They have net cash and positive cash flow. I'll scroll up. Ready? Here they go. Centrica is the first one. Serica Energy, which we've mentioned. Arbuthnot Banking. Jarvis Securities IG Group. And there's the market caps there. Serica 7 billion. Centrica 7 billion. Serica Energy 890 million. Arbuthnot 150 million. Jarvis 22 million. And IG. And you can see there last year's revenues, price to earnings ratio. Centrica's on 2. Is that right? Wow. Serica's on 3. You see a lot of these companies in the energy space, have been hammered massively. Arbuthnot Banking 4. IG Group on 8. Operating margins, look at that, 61, 22% there. Free cash flow margins there. They've got net cash, that means net cash there. And these are the dividend yields. Let's have a look at Centrica, shall we? Centrica chart. Centrica. Wow, that's a goodie. That's what you call an uptrend. And see, it broke 200-day move average, dipped down a little bit. And in fact, let's scroll in here to that, right? Like, see these big rises here, largely when they gap up there and they're not sustainable. The gaps up here and then comes back down. And a break of 200-day moving average, and what you need is a break of previous highs. So these are previous highs. There we go. And it's come off again, and then it's gone back up. Previous highs. And then from that day, pretty much, 2021, it had a little dip. What was this? I don't know what that was. Was it worry about Labour getting in? But even if you got out there and go back in on 200-day moving average, you got in at 51 pence. And when's it? And now it's at 146. And it hasn't gone over that. Little higher low here. But there we are. That's one. SQZ, Serica. Do we have a look at this? Oh, yes, we did. That's a cheapie, but it looks fit in generating positive cash flow. Jarvis Securities JIM. I know they must have been hammered. Yeah. So they're hammered. That's 22 million market cap. What else was there? IG ARB. IGG. IGG. It's a downtrend, isn't it? Ooh. Biggest trading platform in the UK, not the world, is it? In the UK, definitely. But under that 200-day moving average. I don't know what happened there, but obviously it's some kind of trading update. They broke down. Was that done? 9%, 4%. Okay. But you can see here, a series of sort of lower lows here. Maybe this though. Can get above that 200-day moving average, maybe a good sign. And ARBB, Arbuthnot Banking, that's in a range, isn't it? Pretty much. There you are. So there we are. It's 5 stocks there, on fundamental basis. Be careful with screeners, because those screeners, the data from the screeners are taken from the last set of financial figures. And if they release interims since, it's worth checking that out, because they're not taken from interims, they're taken from full year results. So they may have had, a worse interim since. Okay, any more chat here? Top 5: VP, GCL, MNC, Saatchi, Gleason, and Time Finance. Okay, all right. There's 80 drill results, Ball, Postal JV. Okay, not only they're short of cash, more importantly, they are short of orders. That is the point. That's what worried me. With Polarean, you're talking about, Steve, aren't you? Because I did think once they got FDA approval, the orders would be flying in. And that hasn't happened, which worried me a little bit. That can be, just operational issues, maybe nothing to do with tech. But, that's a little worrying. So you can have the best tech in the world sometimes, and just commercial execution of that tech can take a long time. And then it can, obviously, when you start getting sort of doubt setting in, and then you've got funding issues or concerns. And then you've got a bear market. There's a perfect storm there, and Polarean is in that perfect storm, unfortunately. Kooth must be reasonable value at current levels, as we're able to raise new money at that price. Yeah, I don't know. I looked at them last night. I'm not convinced. There's a huge. I think they have to come off a bit. They're well valued. They're a good company. I mean, you have to pay up for quality, you know, and Kooth is quality, and so it's way above, you know. In fact, I should look at it. But I did look at it last night on the spreadsheet. But like I said, I should have held in there, you know, getting good company. That's definitely one to put on your you know, watch list if it dips, because I assume they will win new contracts because they are, you know, a leader in that field, medical health, huge area, isn't it? Mental health for teenagers and stuff. OBD 10% premium, but have tailed off now. Yeah. How much cash they got? There is money, isn't there? Yeah. OBD. Let's look at OBD a second. What's the chart looking like? OBD. Look at that. IPO'd up here, 2016, 161. Took off. A lot of hype there. And then started falling down. And now we start to see, you know, I don't think it's been above that high above the 200-day moving average for a while. So that's a good sign. But here we are. Maybe some support around this level here. Maybe even there. Who knows? You know, if it holds up. What, 28 pence maybe? In fact, look at that. Oddly, that's the exact spike of the last sort of round up there, 28 pence. No, it's good tech that, but it's just commercializing that now, you know, like I said. Okay, let's have a look at Motorpoint because I said it's a barometer pretty much. In fact, let's look at a quick rise and falls. Myanmar Investments, that's a safe investment. They're delisting, I think. There's JOG, one of the biggest rises there, of course. They farmed out to Serica. Hellenic Dynamics, any news there? I don't think so. Is there? Oh, it was a presentation, I think they said. New company presentation and facilities. They're about a medical cannabis cultivator with a dedicated focus on producing tetrahydrocannabinol, dominant strains of medical cannabis flowers for the fast-growing European medical cannabis markets. Oh yeah. Okay. What else is there on the rises? I'm seeing Novacyt. That's right, Novacyt. So Novacyt, IVDR certification for DPYD genotyping assay. I think they could fit in a few more syllables in there, couldn't they? You know, acronyms, whatever. They're not even acronyms, are they? What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, Novacyt, an international specialist in clinical diagnostics, confirms IVDR accreditation under the new EU recommendations. Why are they summarizing everything? Okay, it's requires an in vitro diagnostic regulation for DPYD genotyping assay, which supports identification of cancer patients at risk of suffering a severe and potentially life-threatening reaction to common chemotherapy. Oh, that's very interesting. So kind of know vectors of, you know, in that chemotherapy area, aren't they? Your gene DPYD. Why are they into initials so much? Stop when sometimes these PR people, do they understand, you know, investors who don't have medical backgrounds may read these RNSs. And if you want people to buy into it, if you want access, you know, to your news and understand it, spell it out, explain it a bit more in bullet points as well. Maybe it's because of me. I'm not a very good reader. I have to read things, but I have to read an RNS, but I mean, you know, some people said, oh, it's dyslexia or whatever, but it's not. I'm just stupid, I think. But I have to read an RNS several times. That's why when I read something, it's very simple in bold type in bullet points. But isn't that the way you should do it? Bullet points. Make it simple. Make it digestible. Then more detail below, please. All IR people, take that on board. Make the first 3 or 4 bullet points, you know, pique your interest to make you want to read more. When I just see paragraphs of wording and initials, it's just hard work, isn't it? Anyway, so that's good news from them, Novacyt. One of the rises today. NCYT. Let's look at the chat on Novacyt. It had a little rally, didn't it, back then? Look at that, broke 200 a day, come up, right back down. Like I said, they've got a lot of cash, but we don't know how much cash they put aside for that legal challenge against the Department of Health for COVID contracts and all that stuff and deliveries. But it's trying to pick above that again, no? 200 moving average. Come a long way. They did so well in the COVID. They were the poster child of COVID tests. They really cashed in it, and that's why they got so much cash. 80 million cash, something like that. But the rise there from literally, it was the best performer, wasn't it, for in the COVID year when all stocks were tanking pretty much. This company, from 2020, it did 13,000%. 13,000%. Now, what's that? If you put a grand into that, what's 13,000%? I don't know. Do your maths. But phenomenal rise there, Novacyt, and that's why it's still well read. But the business model has changed somewhat, and they've got that SPDS up. That's my stock up 11.9% today. Nice. UK oil and gas down. Wildcast Petroleum down. After a stupid interview, that man, Ondo is down. It's 13. There we are. Is there any news? Dispensa Group. What did they say? They said something there. Directorate change. The CEO standing down for pressing personal reasons. He would lead with immediate effect. Okay. You never actually find out why CEOs leave, do you? Okay, a few followers there. Okay, so let's have a quick look at MOTR. Like I said, MOTR is the state of the market, as I mentioned here. In fact, I'll put the spreadsheet up. Here we go. Motorpoint Group, interim results, 30th of December. They are 66 million market cap. They've got more cash than debt, so they've got 55 million enterprise value. Net asset value, 40 pence a share. Not a lot of volume on this, even though 77 million market cap. Now, it's in a huge downtrend, but I think it's worth it's a potential recovery stock, but not yet. Not yet. I think you're going to wait a while because I can't see people buying cars until those interest rates come down a bit, But it may rally on sentiment of interest rates coming down in the anticipation of that. Revenue, 607 million. Operating profit is 600 grand there. The cash, 11 million. No debt, which is always good to see. Operating cash flow, free cash flow. So, decent, but you see the growth's gone down massively, 23%. But value-wise, literally, EBITDA 5, price of free cash flow 4. Health is very good. Low margins, of course, and they are cost-cutting, by the way, it says here. But if you look at the forecast going out, then there's potential upside here. But nevertheless, we're nowhere near the end of this downtrend, or it's no sign in sight. That's the down. But it shows you, where the consumer is at the moment. And if you look at that, it IPO'd back in 2016 at £2 a share, up to 380, when literally, the government were pumping money in to the system and interest rates are low. People were using their COVID money to buy cars. 380, and now we're down at 74 pence. But like you see, it's gapped down on this. When you say gap down on a price there, but I say it's bobbed up a little bit. But I'd wait for further updates. I'd wait for definitely cross that 50-day moving average, and then I'd wait for further updates, because that is nowhere near the end of a downtrend. But like house builders, it will start to rally before I think the fundamentals of the economy turn around, because it'll rally in anticipation of that. And so, that's why markets and economies are not in line. Markets try and price in things happening further down the line. Any more chat. Vertu down on Motorpoint news, but still had a super year, did they? Vertu, well, that's very interesting. Let's look at Vertu's chart. VTU, Vertu. Oh, look at that! It's the other way, isn't it? Look at that. Yeah, that's good. What was the Vertu number? Let's look at Vertu. Vertu was 284 million. Oh, they got franchised. That's why it's different, isn't it? Franchise digits, they're always getting the cash coming in. So that's it. Unless franchises shut down, it's a different model. I mean, Motorpoint, I assume, own their own cars and sell their own cars and online as well. But Vertu, a clever model, a franchise model, where the parent company get money anyway, don't they? Let's choose buying or selling here. Cinch. Oh, Cinch has got the 4.1. So Cinch, Ryland, doesn't Ryland advertise Cinch? Yeah. They come up to 4.1% Cinch on that. That's interesting. Company sales record update, further acquisition Southwest. Let's interim results. Let's look at this. interim results, car dealers. Look at that. Well, it's down. No, it's down. No, it's not. It's not up. That's good there. Group has delivered 11.7% year-on-year profit. Growth benefiting from increased scale because of strategies around digitalization, cost efficiency. Free cash flow is down. I assume they'll be investing in there. They do have net debt though of 90 million, but it's not a problem if they've got free cash flow or generate cash. Let's scroll down a bit. Sorry, this is not very entertaining for you yourselves. Cash 47 million on the balance sheet there. So you got borrowings of 16 there, borrowings 122 there, and so that's why they've got net debt. But operating profit of 40 million, net cash inflow, operating activities 14. Not a problem. So repayment of borrowings, they are paying it down 15 million or 16 million repayment on the cash flow. They pay any no, they don't pay any dividends. Interesting to see a tale of two motor dealers. One got a franchise model, that's Vertu, and one hasn't, and they're suffering. But where will the greater recovery play be, do you think? Interesting. Anything else? Bushveld's rallying a little bit. Bushveld, totally. That's been sold off. By the way, totally have come out with the news. Their interim results will be on Tuesday 28th. Yeah, Tuesday 28th. So next Tuesday, is that right? Yeah, that's been hammered totally. I do expect a little bounce because they were, I think, still generating cash, but it's been absolutely hammered. Top line margins are quite slim, but top line is huge. All they need to do is improve the margins a bit, and that could motor. But very interesting there. Totally PLC. Any more chat? Any more? Don't think Ryland is the boss at Cinch. That'd be amazing if he was. What a turnaround that guy has had. From literally being, if you got a bit of a personality on X Factor, he did well, didn't he? I mean, he wasn't the best singer, but literally, he is now probably the biggest earner. Him and that other woman, Alison, from, she's on lots of stuff, isn't she? From Good Morning. No, what is she? Was she a singer? I'm not sure what she was off. Big Brother, she was off. But Ryland's done so well, hasn't he? He's now gone from, like failing pretty much an X Factor. Fail fast. Jeff Bezos encourages bosses to fail fast. Get good ideas, try them out, fail quickly, iterate, evolve, get better. But he failed at X Factor. And now he's on Radio 2. He's hosting lots of stuff. He's the boss of Cinch. And he wouldn't be able to set that company up, without the backing of X Factor and all that stuff and failing there. So, his failure has become an enormous success. Ben, VP is interesting. PE of 7, yield of 6%. Chairman wants to sell and retire at 72. An offer was turned down a year ago. He holds 50%. Yeah. There's hope. GB says, hope for you, Justin, if it worked out for Ryland. Yeah. I need to get hair, dye my hair and big white teeth. VP, let's have a look. VP. What is it? VP dot. VP. So VP is a long-established, is it the right company to write? Specialist equipment rental group, which has evolved over 60 years trading history. We provide products and services to a diverse range of markets. Okay. Their interim results are coming up. Let's have a look there. What did I say? The groups continue to trade resiliently against a backdrop of challenging macroeconomic. The group announced interim results 6 months on Tuesday, next Tuesday. So you got Totally and VP on the same day. Sorry, board appointment. Okay. It's Jeremy Pilkington. He's the chairman. He owns 50%. Is that right? So these are the final results here. So yeah, revenue's up 6%. Adjusted profit before tax 4%. Net debt excluding leases 134 million. Is that right? It's gone up a little bit. Net debt 134 million. It's paying a dividend, but that's quite a bit of. Hang on, I'll scroll down the balance sheet here. Oh, sorry, I do apologize. This is not good watching this when I'm doing this. Interest-bearing loans 145 million. Okay, cash equivalent 11 million. Repayment of borrowings 29 million, 95 the year before. They are paying it down, so it has new loans 30 million. So they paid 29, 30 more. Okay. They did pay dividends, 40 million. All right. Let's just see, scroll back up to probably 23 million. So what are they at? Pretty much a PE of, yeah. What are you saying the PE is? Because it looks a lot more there. 23, 10 times, yeah, 10, 11 times. Yeah. Okay. Well, but on the chart, it's had a nice rally there, isn't it? If you can stay above that, that's the bottom there. It'll need to consolidate there and come round a little bit, but maybe that's rising towards the results, and then it'll roll around and maybe take a leg higher again then. But yeah, seems like start of recovery there in VP. Cool. All right. Oh, it's just a couple of things. Where is it? I had some a bit of macro news. Oh, there we are. This is the thing. This is from Sky. There's one important chart that wasn't in the autumn statement. By the way, you can check out this article on Fox as well. Those companies there. And that was disposable income, real household disposable income growth. The biggest fall since 1955. There it is here. And largely down to inflation, of course. And I assume globally it's not specific to the UK. But nevertheless, when you have that, you can see going forward, the economy is going to start. And in fact, I think the growth has been revised down by half, hasn't it, for the UK economy? This is why you got to look at growth companies, and of course the economy is not going to grow. People feeling poorer, they can't spend, so inflation will come down. But you shouldn't be giving pay rises to everyone because that will embed inflation. Also, energy cap will rise in January, but it will fall back in March. Average, they've got about 94 quid a year, or 5%. And Nissan, this is good, to commit to making future electric versions of its two biggest selling cars in Sunderland. And it's going to help preserve 6,000 jobs. Investment is thought to be in the region of £1 billion and will be supported by the government contribution from the Automotive Transformation Fund. That's what you should be doing. Encouraging industry to locate in the UK, employ people, and create new sort of technology, AI, all that stuff. Invest in all that future stuff. Future stuff. That's what we should have just stood up and said. I'm going to chuck a load of money at investing in future stuff. Yeah. Billions. How much do you need? Anyway, that's it. Cash guy and something else. Thank you very much for that. And will we see Santa first or Johnny first? Who knows? Our forward PE is 7. Okay. Is a Santa rally still going to happen? Yeah, Santa rally. Remember, it's the last trading week of the year. That's the Santa rally officially. Okay, it's not, like I said before, even though November and December are more bullish months than September, October because they're dreadful. The actual Santa rally, where you see, the chance of a gain is like 80%, something like that, 75% or something. And we'll have to look at that. Somebody look that up later. But it's in the last week of the year. I just saw the last bit of my AFM, some good things, but we have seen lengthening sales cycle and increased competition as a result of overcapacity in the global consulting market. Is Johnny Santa? Good point. AFM. Alpha Financial Markets. Yes. Oh, that's interesting. I was just reading about cab payments today, actually, and Argentex, looking at the read across and seeing what's happening there. But do you know what? I was thinking that there's a lot more companies. There's Cornerstone, of course, as well. Smaller companies may not be affected so much. But that's very interesting you say that in effects, because I've been thinking about that. There's been a lot more companies popping up in that space. We've seen a lengthened sales cycle and increased competition as a result of overcapacity in the global consulting market and effects and all that stuff. Okay. Very interesting. Thank you very much, everyone. And Speak tomorrow. Don't forget, if you can do me a big favor, just hit that thumbs up. Subscribe, very important. If you don't get to 5,000, that's it for the show before the end of the year. And the Vox Markets app, download that if you don't use it. And RNS will come straight to the front screen of your smartphone. Thanks a lot. Speak tomorrow. Bye-bye. Last one of the week.